all the difference between that 3 cents and that 9 to 12 cents is going to be just money in your pocket.
But we can't get to that point unless you do what?
Well, you want to identify, I mean,
right, well, you got to do, my point is you got to do the energy audit, because if you don't do the energy audit, then you can't, we don't know what it is that we need to do.
There are some things that homeowners can do before they get the energy audit that are just no-brainers.
Okay.
If you haven't, switched to efficient light bulbs, do that. That does make a pretty big difference. If you haven't caulked your windows, do that. There are a couple of programs that ComEd and the other utilities in this state have rolled out because they're required to satisfy more of their customers' needs with energy efficiency instead of with supply. So look into what you can get rebates for.
Is there a site for that, Becky, that you would refer to? Can we refer to someone as well?
I think if you just go to ComEd or People's Energy, those are my utilities, and I've gone to both of their websites to find what rebates are available to me.
Very good. But again, we have about a minute left. I want to go back to the audit. Now, Peter talked about in greeneconomychicago.com, he's brought up the idea of, well, why not moving forward with some legislation? All of you have agreed that it can be done here in Chicago. What would you recommend as some next steps to making this happen? And we have about a minute, so I'm going to give you all like 10 seconds. Starting with you, Willis.
I think that some aldermen should draft an ordinance.
And you could use ordinances that other municipalities have already implemented. It talks about which properties are included or excluded in the ordinance, which transactions actually trigger the audit. So it's a pretty straightforward process. And like Willis said,
and I'm sorry I didn't get to the our other two guests, but you can join us on greeneconomychicago.com. We encourage you. That's where we have the website. The ideas on. We really would appreciate your support in this. So. Visit us, greeneconomychicago.com. I also wanted to thank our partners, Comcast, for their outstanding work, and also Mike Biltman of Clear Content Incorporated. And with that, I just wanted to thank you again for joining us on another segment of Green Economy Chicago.
I'm John Porterfield with the firm Ezing. We do energy audits, and we're going to take you through an energy audit today at a Chicago household. We're going to be looking at some of the testing that's done during the energy audit. The energy audit also involves analysis, it involves report, communicating with our client, but the tests in the home reveal a number of things that can't otherwise be seen. So we're going to show you, we have techniques to show you these problems. We're going to be looking at several substantial air leaks in this home, the duct leakage, and we're going to be checking the equipment. We're going to be checking windows with a special optical detector to make sure they're low E or how they're made. And we want to really start, I think, by setting up the blower door. And the blower door is a special high-pressure fan that's used to create negative pressure in the house similar to a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And the blower door is basically taking air out of the house, and so we detect air leaks of the house where air is coming in. So it's a detection technique that tells us the type of leak the house has, the location of the leak, the severity of the leak, and based on this we can tell people, what do you do about it? Now that we have the blower door installed, let's just talk about this instrument, the test instrument, for a moment. It's got a fairly powerful 6,000 CFM calibrated fan. It's got a panel that goes in the doorway, just snaps in the doorway to close off this house. All the windows and doors in the house are closed as they would be in winter. We're going to test the house for air leakage. The digital manometer or gauge is basically designed to pick the pressure up from the fan and convert that into a cubic foot per minute flow measurement so that we can figure the leakage of the house, and we can compare this house to any other house in the world. It's a standard house pressure measurement. So this tells you where you are on the scale of leakage. It's useful in so many ways. It can help you locate and characterize the leaks in the house. It can measure the leakage. It can function as quality control. If you're doing air seal work in a house, you can get your before and after measurement to verify that you did achieve a substantial air leakage. We usually try to get 30% air leakage reduction in existing homes. We've had situations where we get more than 50% reduction in air leakage in existing homes. So this is the centerpiece basically of a instrument-based or test-based home energy audit. So we saw the blower door downstairs, and now we're looking at a duct blaster, which is really the same concept. It's a miniature high-pressure calibrated fan. So we're measuring the air leakage that is coming through the duct system. When this furnace produces air, some of the air goes to the rooms that are being heated, and some of the air, unfortunately, is delivered outdoors through duct leakage. And so we can measure the portion of the air leakage going outdoors. You notice that it's also using the same pressure gauge that we saw downstairs with the blower door. This pressure gauge is set up to measure air leakage from a variety of different situations. This is one of the more important. Duct leakage, on average, accounts for 10% of the heating loss in forced air heated homes. It's 15% on the cooling side. Leaves through the duct system rather than going to your room. So this is a very important thing to find out if your house has duct leakage, to measure it, to find out where the problem is, and to figure out how to fix it. We're on the third floor of the residence now, and we're going to be looking at some major air leaks that we found in this part of the house. It's interesting that we're finding leaks on the third floor. During the winter, this is usually the exit point for air leakage. Air is coming in at the bottom, coming out at the top. It's not causing discomfort where it comes out at the top, and so the resident was not aware of these leaks. Was very aware of leaks lower down in the house. The leaks that we found are leaks that are in the duct system. We're going to talk about that. We have a leak that's up here at the attic hatch, and this is a hatch opening. So a severe leak there. We also have a leak that we'll take a look at that's in the bathroom. It's a service door for the jacuzzi tub that we found to be leaking. So the other thing that we want to show you is the placement of the insulation is generally good in this house, but we do have some spots up here that we see with the infrared scanner have missing insulation. And when air seal and insulation work is done in a house, we can target specific defects that were left with previous work in the house and get those problems taken care of all at one time, as long as they're carefully identified during the audit. One of the biggest misconceptions about the home energy use and home energy waste is that windows are the primary source of air leakage in the home. Windows are actually doing two things. All surfaces in the building, including windows, have some air leakage and they have some heat conduction or loss by heat transfer. Windows tend to be thought to leak because there's a lot of heat transfer and you may get some cold air spilling from the window. It's actually not leakage, it's just cold air that's spilling down from the window because the conduction is so great at the windows. So if you spend a lot of time sealing leaks, as we've seen with the other leaks that we've viewed here with the docks and the jacuzzi with recessed cans, different leak points we've seen, you'd miss the point if you spent a lot of time on windows in this home. Now the audit is not going to cover we're not going to show every aspect of the audit. We also look at equipment efficiency, if the house has enough ventilation, number of other things.